This is the Bosch cordless drill, 18 volt. My bearings went out in the gear head, and having to replace the entire head. I think they call it a gearbox. And so normally you're supposed to be able, as you can follow other videos, you take the center screw out. As you can see right here, I've already taken the screw out, and with my T25 Torx. So when the bearings went out, that caused the spindle and in the gearbox and the chuck to come out. This unit would still work. You could still drill, but you had to hold the front of the chuck when you started to pull the drill out of a hole. And so now I have to get the spindle out of the chuck. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I had to apply heat to this area right down in here and keep it isolated. I just used a small propane torch right in this area, right in here, with a small propane torch. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill benzomatic propane, all it is. I applied heat here. I had it chucked up in a vise with an Allen wrench where you would normally put the drill bit, like this. I had the Allen wrench held in place with the drill chuck. I put this part of the Allen wrench in a vise. Then I applied the heat to this area, as I said before, and then put vice grips around this area up here, and this is damaged. I also impacted this with a hammer, some just to break the thread loose here, and then use the vice grips to clamp in right here to eventually break it loose. It was tight. It's unconventional way of doing it, but I had no other choice. This is the other side of the drill, and as you can see, there's a lot of little Torx screws, or they may just be Phillips screws, maybe, but there's several of them that I've got to take out in order to get to the gearbox. And this is the new gearbox that I have to replace since the spindle came out. It is a Torx screw. I don't know if you can see this on here. It is a T10. Looks like a T10 Torx. And those screws also double, looks like, as a straight screwdriver, but I don't think, they're not that tight. You might get them out with a straight screwdriver too. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the battery now, because you don't want any power to the new gear head, and when you're trying to take this unit apart. They're pretty powerful little units. Holds up to a 1/2 inch, I think from an 1/8 to a 1/2 inch drill bit. Now the battery is removed. I also used the mating impact wrench to do some of the work on this unit, and taking out the side cover right here. Not the side cover, but the hanging guard. Let's see if I can get a good shot. Just one simple screw. It's Phillips head, and it comes right out. We'll take that off, lay that to the side. Now, as you see, I am using the impact driver to back out these screws. All right, let's do another one here. I'm not going to show all the screws being removed. That's pretty self-explanatory. We'll take out a few, get them out to where, I don't even know if you have to take them all the way out or not. All right, and notice, by the way, I've never taken one of these apart before. There is a little spring right here that you may want to watch for. It may try to pop out. As I was splitting open the bottom part of the drill where the battery is inserted, I did go ahead and just remove all the screws, so if I had to move this in a different angle, they're all identical, so there's nothing dedicated to a certain hole. So I removed all those screws. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, looks like 10 screws to take out. As you can see, this is the high-low selector, or position 1, position 2, for low gear and high gear. So you want to make sure to keep that little, when you put the new head in, to keep it over that little wire right there. When I got the new one, I didn't quite know what that was. As you can see, there it is. But that is, that's like the gear shifter. Low to high, that's what that is. So that has to be on there. It has to be in the right location. Also, the forward and reverse, you can just pull it out or you can leave it in place. But you've got to have it, you see that little opening has to be over that right there. That's the forward and reverse. So that has to be in place like that. The trigger, the squeeze trigger, is right there, and it's in the one position, forward or reverse right now, I'm not sure, but you can put that in the neutral position, and then this trigger will not squeeze in. All right, there we go. Now you can either leave this stuff in place. This one you may have to pull out. Has a little grease on it. And that grease, I don't know exactly where it comes from, but it's been a little warm, I guess. So we'll remove the old unit now, the old gearbox. So you just pull this up slightly and then pull this away. And as you can see, there's a little gear there. And then there's 3 little gears right up in there. That just has to line up when it goes back in place. When your new gear head goes back in place. This is the new gearbox. I've been calling it gear head. It's actually a gearbox, according to the box that it came in. Bosch. Let's see, where does it say? Yeah, right here. Gearbox, right at the very top. English, gearbox. So, these little metal tabs right here, they were located up and down this area here. And there is one on each side. One on each side, but you've got to have this. This is your shifter right here, or shifter linkage, I guess you might say. So that has to be pointing toward the top of the drill when you put it together. I also see a little lineup, as you can see right there. I don't know if I can point to this. It's right there. It's a little lineup boss, and it goes in a slot. Let me get this where it's focused. It goes in that slot right there. That holds the unit in place, just like that. Okay, so the little metal tabs right there, they don't go on the inside of this piece. they go back a little bit further. I think the way the old one came out, it was the same way. They should be exactly the same, as you can see. Put the external shifter back in place. And as you can see, it is over the shifter, or the shifter linkage. And we're going to move it backward, and we're going to move it forward. So if everything is correct, this should go into high gear and low gear. A little bit dirty. I've had this unit for 8 to 10 years, I think. Not exactly sure. This spring that I was talking about, being careful not to let it pop out. Apparently that is part of the apparatus, and it's made like a shock absorber for that part right there. So when you put the battery in, it acts as a springy. Don't know exactly what it's for, but it serves a purpose. Probably the shock absorber to hold the drill battery, the rechargeable drill battery in better. All right, you just slide the cover back down on it, and your reverser, forward, reverse button, the trigger should not pull right there, and right here it should, and right here it should. That's forward and reverse. And your high-low selector should shift like that. Now let's put the screws back in it, and we'll put the battery in and see if it works like it should. All the screws are back in. There's one that is recessed deeper. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see. Don't have the light on it good enough there, but anyway, there is one down in this hole right here. And now we will use the impact driver to run the screws back in there with the T10 Torx. Don't want to go too fast. They don't take much to hold them in there.